Could it be that watching scary movies actually good for your mental health? Could it be that if you're prone to anxiety, watching scary movies actually could be a good thing? Well, there's a new CNET report based on a study being conducted by a student at the University of Chicago who is identifying horror movies as a positive way to relieve pent-up tension and also to be able to practice feeling scared in a safe environment. And it says that it refocuses one's brain away from real-life anxieties to be able to enjoy and kind of reset after the end of a movie. Kind of an interesting concept, but there's all referencing training your brain, which is something that Leigh Richardson does from the Brain Performance Center. Leigh, what do you make of this? Scary movies good for your mental health?
Well, you know what? I think it is. It's interesting. Think about it. You're sitting so safely on your couch. You've got your blanket over the head, and you get through this terrifying journey, and you come out on the other end, and everything's okay. And I think after a terrible movie, the world just seems a lot less scary.
You know, that's an interesting way of putting it, that our day-to-day suddenly doesn't seem so bad. How much of anxiety, how much of are the issues that we deal with that we put on ourselves as opposed to real-world issues that are problematic?
Well, it all starts in your head. I mean, everything, we get lost in the past. We get worried about what we said a week ago, or we start thinking about what we're going to do a month from now. And that's what creates the anxiety. It all starts within our head. But I honestly have to say the last 18 months have certainly introduced a whole new realm of things to make us anxious. And I thought it was interesting that in that study, they show that there's some digital movie app, and it showed from May 2020, from the previous May, the horror sales were up like 194%.
So I guess that we should view that as a positive. That is perhaps a coping mechanism for a lot of people finding that particular release. Leigh, I'm curious, what is something that we might do if we feel ourselves going to that place where you're talking about, to where we're making a situation bigger and we keep thinking further down the road and whatever, and we know that it's not constructive? Is there any recommendation you have to try to stop that?
Absolutely. Just stop, ground yourself, whether you're standing up or sitting down. The bottom of your big toes, they're the receptors for the brain. So push the bottom of that big toe down into the grain and stop and just focus on your breathing. And I know it sounds so simple, but do you know how many people won't do it? Because you've really got to focus, feel grounded to the earth. Put your hand on your belly. See if you can get any action going around that belly button. Feel air coming in and out. And if you can, that'll slow your breath rate down. That will slow your heart rate down. You get those two to dance together, and all of a sudden you're feeling a lot calmer.
Okay, that's kind of awesome, simplistic stuff. I'm doing the toe thing right now. I don't know that I'll be able to, balance any of this to any credible degree in the midst of talking with you. But I love anecdotes like that. That's really cool. So I guess the big takeaway here is, aside from that great advice, feel free to go ahead and embrace those horror movies.
Absolutely. I mean, the study showed that the fans of horror films had less psychological distress during COVID-19.
Cool.
And all the fans of the prepper films, the zombies and the aliens, they were more prepared for the pandemic.
You're always full of great information. Appreciate you sharing it with us. It's Leigh Richardson, the founder of the Brain Performance Center.